It's mailbag time here on Chicago Bears Now. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. Give me a follow on Instagram. It's at HGrahamNFL. If we don't answer your questions here, you can follow me there and then slide in the DMs. They are always open. We just crossed 1,000 IG followers. Appreciate that. Trying to keep the momentum going and get to 1,500. All right, the Bears with the super chat. Mike Vick for offensive coordinator or head coach, perfect for Justin Fields. How do I say this respectfully? Because I respect all you guys. Michael Vick, wasn't he the OC, Marsh, for one of those AAF teams? And he got fired after like 2 games, I think, or they demoted him. So you've got that. And 2, Justin Fields plays nothing like Michael Vick. Sure, he's fast, but Vick was like the most electric scrambler of all time. Fields is a pass-first quarterback. He does not have skins on the wall to be an NFL offensive coordinator or head coach. So perfect for Justin Fields, not quite. Ferni here with the super chat. Do you think Robert Quinn can win Defensive Player of the Year or at least be a candidate? Honestly, he should get more love, but the fact that the Bears are 5-10, I doubt he would win it. Could be a finalist, a candidate. He should be considered. He's got a real shot of leading the NFL in sacks. He's got 17 sacks this year, which sucks because the Bears have kind of wasted one of the better defensive seasons they've ever had from a player. So finalist, yes, but would he win it? That seems unlikely. Nicholas Grandinetti. Get Michael Gallup in free agency too. Sure. C-Pat and Gallup with Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet, David Montgomery. Let's ride. Justin Fields. I'm down. Bring them all in. Let's get it. Benny DeBully. Who's better at this point, Roquan Smith or Khalil Mack? Probably Roquan, honestly. But Mack was having a hell of a year before he got hurt. Maybe Mack, it's close, but with Roquan being younger in terms of like who long-term would I rather keep, it's definitely Roquan. But they're both great players. Roquan's one of the top 5 off-ball linebacker. I think Khalil Mack's still a top 10 pass rusher in this league. So they're still really good players. But Khalil's getting older. Injuries have bitten him a little bit here as of late. So, yeah, you got to factor all that stuff in. Jimmy Screws, should Chicago fire Ryan Pace, and who could replace him as GM? So, obviously a lot of chatter that we've done on the show is Matt Nagy replacements, but we did release a Ryan Pace replacements video, so there's some names over there. The guy I'm really starting to like is the Colts guy. Eric Dodds, is that his name? Ed Dodds. I think he's a guy that's going to get a GM gig this cycle. I think there's a real good chance of that. So he's a name. Obviously, the names that we hear a lot, Louis Riddick and, Daniel Jeremiah. The guy, Joe Ortiz with Baltimore is another one. Mike Borgonzi with the Chiefs. Those are guys who have been in good front offices for a while. There's a guy with the Bills. I'm forgetting his name, but he's a possible candidate as well. Do you want a former GM like Rick Smith? I mean, I don't know. We'll see, though. We'll see what happens, Jimmy Screws. Good question. All right, should the Bears fire Ryan Pace? Obviously, GM conversation here. Type Y for yes. Type in for no. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video, so sound off in the comment section. Alan Mack, Bears mock draft coming soon. Yeah, I'll probably wait till after the season officially ends. Maybe I'll do one next week, but I've just been so laser focused in on the coaching thing, right? Because, number one, Bears don't have a first-round pick, and number two, it's hard to do mock drafts when you don't even know what kind of system your team's going to be. Like, are the Bears going to still run a 3-4 on defense? I don't know. That impacts how I would do a mock draft. What kind of offense is coming in here? I assume something friendly for Justin Fields' strengths, but we'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, Alan, trust me, that's something I've been thinking about. I would say yes. Soon in terms of the next couple weeks, yeah, that should be on deck here. So, subscribe. Jordan Hackbarth, is Tarik coming back? And not this year. I mean, why would you bring him back at this point? It's kind of crazy. The next time Tarik Cohen plays football, it will have almost been 2 full years since he's played. And who knows what he's going to look like. That situation's been disappointing for him. It's obviously been disappointing for the Bears. He's a character guy. He's a leader on this team. It sucks that he hadn't been out there, but that knee didn't heal, and I think he had to get a second surgery, which led to a longer rehab process. Matthew Lane, I think he's still talking about Mike Vick here. Except Sean Payton, who would be best head coach for Justin? Well, if you're watching live, we're about to have 10 Matt Nagy replacement candidates, so stay tuned for that. Matthew, and by the way, I can't remember if it was you or someone else who had asked about the Michael Vick thing. It's not an anti-Vick thing. It's just, guys, he's never coached in the NFL. Like, well, let's get someone in here who has, or at least who has been a high-level college coach or something like that. Ferni with the super chat. You guys are crushing it. Appreciate it. David Bell would shine in this offense. Thoughts? I like David Bell a lot. I think he's a real second-round target for the Bears at wide receiver. Out of Purdue, he's a good player. I think there's going to be some good receivers that slip to the second round, and assuming Allen Robinson isn't back, you're going to need another one next to Darnell Mooney, whether it's in free agency or in the draft. So, yeah, David Bell's a guy I like quite a bit, and he's pretty local, having played his college ball at Purdue, so the Bears should scout him and know him pretty well. Jack Denten, I feel bad for Nagy at this point. McCaskies are torturing him by not firing him. He looks dead inside. I do think this is a good point, Jack. It's not, and look, like, I'm not saying Matt Nagy deserves our sympathies or anything like that, but it's been kind of a rough go. I mean, hell, he can't go to his son's high school game without the opposing student section chanting "Fire Nagy." That's rough. And then, you're right, they're totally leading him on or just hanging him out to dry to have him coach the rest of this year. Now, maybe he would want to finish out the year anyway. That's fine, but, like, everyone knows he's gone. Surely, like, if he's not gone, something's severely wrong with this franchise, but just end his misery. And plus, firing him now actually helps him out. Maybe he can, like, start his process of, okay, how do I get an assistant job next year? So I'm with you. I don't think it's fair to him. I don't think it's fair to the fan base. I don't think it's fair to the players. Like, you're having a guy, a dead man walking is the phrase, right? Like, that's what Matt Nagy is right now. So it's a tough go. What's not a tough go is making money, and that's the name of the game here at Chat Sports. It's also the name of the game here at BetUS, our sportsbook partner. Go bet on the NFL, the NBA, or any other sport. Chatsports.com/Bears. Promo code BEARDOWN. Put down $100. You'll get that 125% deposit bonus. And for you new BetUS customers, follow the steps. Screenshot this graphic right now, and just follow the steps in chronological order. Chatsports.com/Bears. You got to go to our link and use our promo code, which is BEARDOWN. Deposit a minimum of $100. You'll get the deposit bonus, and then place a bet on any game for any amount, $5, $50, doesn't matter. Email us jersey at chatsports.com after that, and we will hook you guys up with a brand new jersey. We've got this Justin Fields jersey available to ship your way, so email us jersey at chatsports.com after you get going at chatsports.com/Bears. Swanny here. With the emergence of Khalil Herbert, maybe the Bears trade Cohen for draft capital. What are you going to get for Tarik Cohen? He makes like $6 million a year, and he hadn't played in almost 2 years. 6th, 7th round pick, maybe? I mean, sure, I wouldn't be opposed because who knows what he's going to be, but if you guys think you're getting a day 2 pick for Tarik Cohen, I hate to tell you that. It's not going to happen. Like, I would be floored if you got anything before a 6th for Cohen this offseason. We haven't seen the guy play in 2 years almost. Funkbringer, how many years of patience should we exhibit after this staff change as a fan base? Look, I honestly, and look, maybe I'm being naive, maybe I'm wrong about this. I think it is at least plausible that with the right coaching staff, this team's in the playoffs next year. I expect Justin Fields to make a big jump this offseason with a competent coach. Full offseason, he's a grinder. Fields is going to be in the gym every day. He's going to be throwing most of the offseason. I've seen growth from him this year. I think if this O-line continues to improve a little bit and you kind of, work out some of the kinks on this roster that need retooling, I think it's possible that with a high-level head coach, this team could make the playoffs next year. So you may not have to be that patient. Now, you shouldn't expect to go 15-2 or something like that and run through the NFC North, but let's say Aaron Rodgers is gone. You're telling me the Bears would have no chance of winning the North next year? I think it's at least a possibility. DCxViper says, who should the Bears look for at CB in the offseason? Money Marsh talking to my ear brings up a good name. J.C. Jackson for the Patriots. Stephon Gilmore's a free agent as well with Carolina. Jackson's going to get so much money, though, man. I mean, at least $15 million a year, I'd say. Maybe 20. I mean, he may push to be the highest pay with the year he's had. Those are some high-level guys. I need to look at some of the more mid-tier guys because you don't need a lockdown guy. You got Jalen Johnson. I like Thomas Graham Jr. I think he has a chance to be a starter in this league. I hope he plays well the final 2 weeks. But you got to upgrade at nickel as well. So maybe Graham could slide in the nickel, then you go sign a quality outside corner. F1 Weiss, is it a possibility that the Bears could get Davante Adams? You guys have asked me this a few times over the last couple of months. Is it a possibility? It has to at least be a 1% chance because he's going to be a free agent. It's all going to come down to Aaron Rodgers with him. If Rodgers wants to go back to Green Bay, Adams is going to re-sign there. We all know that. There's no way Rodgers agrees to stay and they let Adams walk. Like that ain't happening. But if Rodgers still sticks to what he said before the year, this is going to be my last year, and gets traded, then Adams probably looks to leave, I would guess. So, yeah, I think it's at least possible. Now, does he want to play for the Packers' rival? Different story, but if the Bears are like, hey, here's $24 million a year, Davante, come on down, it's going to be hard to turn down if you're Davante Adams. And if the Bears sign a guy like Davante Adams, we're going live, baby, and we're popping champagne. So subscribe to the channel, Bears news, rumors, more videos all season long. And, yes, into the offseason, we don't slow down our coverage. If anything, we increase it because it's a big offseason coming up for the Chicago Bears. I would say a pivotal point in the history of this franchise. So subscribe. Don't miss any of it because we're going to have you guys covered on a daily basis. Ethan Eli, do you think we tag A-Rob again? If so, what do you think we do with him? I don't see how you tag him again. I mean, you want him under a $20+ million franchise tag with the year he's had. I've kind of ruled out the possibility of tagging him at this point. I think one of two things will happen. A new regime will come in and sit down with A-Rob and see if they can come to some sort of reset agreement, because A-Rob was so pissed at what happened last offseason, he just checked out this year. I'll be honest. I think that's what happened. Or the Bears will just let him walk. It'll be one of those two things. And probably letting him walk is going to be most likely, but maybe a new regime sits him down and is like, hey, old guy's out, new guy's in. We got Justin Fields. Come on, let's make this work. Maybe he gets back to the table, but I doubt it. Last question on this mailbag. Betty DeBully, would you trade Robert Quinn for a second-round pick? I'd be tempted, man, and what Quinn has done this year has been incredible. I mean, 17 sacks, guys. You don't do that by accident. Like, kudos to him for what he's done this year. He was clearly hurt last year. There's just no explanation for the jump in his play. But a second-round pick for a guy who's like 32 now, I mean, I'd have to consider it, but we'll see what happens. I would at least consider it, though. Follow me on IG. It's at HGramNFL. We can't get to all your questions, but I do get to all of your questions on Instagram. Got a few I got to get to over the next couple days, but keep asking them. I'll get back to you guys on IG. Been busy with the holidays, but I promise to answer, and I would appreciate your guys' follow as well as I try to increase my profile over there.